Grahame Lynch from CommsDay here, and I'm pleased to be joined by Bruce McClelland, who's the CEO of Ribbon Communications. I believe you're in Atlanta today. Is that right, Bruce?
That's right, Graham. Great to be with you today.
Yeah, fantastic. First of all, I'd like you to give us a bit of an introduction to Ribbon. Our audience may be familiar with some of the legacy brands that Ribbon incorporates, such as ECI, Genband, and Sonos, but maybe not so familiar with the scale of what Ribbon does these days. So can you tell us a little bit about that, and also what you're doing here in the Australia and New Zealand markets?
Yeah, well, I know the Ribbon name is not necessarily a household name today, but we actually support a lot of households around the world. And as you mentioned, the Ribbon name actually came into existence about 3 years ago with the merger of Sonos and Genband, which are two companies that were some of the original inventors or innovators around voice over IP technology. And 3 years ago, those two companies came together and we rebranded the company Ribbon Communications at that point. Like many technology companies, Ribbon is made up of a variety of companies that have come together over the years. It includes companies like Nortel Networks and some of the product lines that were originally developed inside of Nortel. In fact, where I started my career 30 plus years ago. I've now been with Ribbon about 6 months, joined as the CEO 6 months ago, having a great time, and previously was CEO of a company called Eris, which merged with CommScope last year. And also had a big presence in Australia, working with Telstra and NBN and Foxtel and many of the big names in Australia. So Ribbon is a public company. We're listed on the NASDAQ exchange here in the US under RBBN, Ribbon Communications, and have headquarters based in the Boston area. But with offices and a presence in Dallas and Raleigh and California, development offices in Canada, up in Ottawa, and a variety of offices around the world. We are a global company. About 50% of our business is inside the US today, and the other 50% in up to 140 different countries around the world. We recently completed another acquisition, as you mentioned, of a company called ECI Telecom. And ECI is headquartered in Israel and has expanded our focus beyond voice over IP into the broader data communications market in fiber optic transmission and switching and IP/MPLS and all those types of technologies. We're about a $1 billion company today, enterprise value, interestingly, our largest investor is actually JP Morgan. So it's great to have a really solid foundation from an investor like JP Morgan. We have about 4,000 employees around the world, and work with a variety of different customers. Probably 70% of our business today is with carriers and service providers, and about 30% with a variety of different type of enterprise customers.
Okay, so can you tell me a bit more about what you're doing in the Australia and New Zealand market, and I guess also what makes the ANZ market a little different to other global markets?
Yeah, so we probably have a couple dozen employees based in the ANZ market, and work with the major carriers, both traditional landline telecom providers, as well as the mobile carriers. And, in particular, obviously have a strong presence in the traditional landline voice network, as well as with some of the kind of next generation unified communications or collaboration platforms that are really hot these days. So those are, two of our big focus areas. And then with the recent acquisition of ECI, we have a lot of effort going into expanding our presence around fiber optic transmission and optical networking in the region as well.
Okay, now 5G is obviously the hot technology of the moment. Can you tell me a little bit about what Ribbon is doing in that market?
Yeah, it's definitely the hot topic, and it has been a hot topic for a number of years. In fact, I remember going to the Consumer Electronics Show 3 years ago in Las Vegas. I hope to make it again someday with the COVID situation hopefully reducing. But 5G was the hot topic even 3 years ago at a consumer electronics show, and it continues to gain momentum. In fact, there's really strong momentum in the ANZ market with the expansion and deployment going on there. It's still, a small portion of the networks around the world today, but most of our customers are, clearly focused on plans to, either augment their current service offering with more advanced 5G services, or go through and upgrade the existing infrastructure to support 5G. And, that's a common theme around the world. Our piece of that, our play around that is in a couple of different areas. Clearly, it's around the networking portion and connecting all of the different access networks back into the core. But we have a few other initiatives around voice processing and encoding and those sorts of areas as well.
Okay, now I understand that Ribbon has a strong relationship with Microsoft. Can you tell me a little bit about that and why that's relevant for telcos?
Yeah, the adoption rate of kind of next generation communication platforms is obviously skyrocketed through the COVID situation. Microsoft and their Skype platform, now evolved to their Teams platform, is clearly one of the the largest with the greatest momentum, particularly with enterprises. And similar to the Zoom session we're on here today, the connectivity from the collaboration platform, kind of the on-net world that we're dialed into, connected through soft clients here, the connection from that environment back to the traditional PSTN to the voice network is really where Ribbon comes in. Our products basically secure that connection. They call it SIP trunking or direct routing. And we provide the technology that provides a secure on-ramp from the collaboration environment back into the normal network. And we think that, as the adoption rate of unified communications continues to accelerate and essentially replace the traditional phone network, the traditional PBX environment, the attach rate of that voice connection from a traditional network into these collaboration platforms will continue to increase. So we put a lot of effort into partnering really closely with Microsoft, with Zoom and several others. In the case of Microsoft, we're a gold certified partner, which basically means, we collaborate very deeply. We're, connecting on roadmaps. We're training their go-to-market team as well as their channel partners to be able to deploy our technology and make that kind of frictionless and seamless. So a lot of effort around that, and we're really excited about the potential both for the Microsoft deployment and our piece of that.
Okay. Now, finally, what is your partner strategy here in the Australia and New Zealand markets?
Yeah, we really have a partner-first approach to how we do business, particularly with our enterprise customers. We're really, kind of hand in hand with them, helping enable them with state-of-the-art technology, enable them to be able to offer a complete suite of services, and not only, reselling product and supporting product, but really enriching the entire service offering and helping them differentiate their offering. And so that's a really important, real element of our strategy. We also, try and work really closely with some global partners that really pull us through into larger network infrastructure deals and opportunities to leverage their scale and our added value around the technology and how we help them differentiate. So channels and partners really, really important for us, Grahame.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bruce, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Really appreciate the time, Grahame. Thank you.
Thank you.